Hey artists, today we're making these amazing old steamboat pictures. Follow along with me and I'll show you all the steps to make your own.
All right, the first thing I'm going to do is get out kind of these warmer colors of our colored pencil sticks. I have a red, orange, yellow, and kind of a tan. And we're going to use a texture sheet. So texture sheets, they just have different texture on them. Like I can touch them and feel some different texture. So I'm going to choose one of these. And there's so many different ones with different textures where I can just kind of feel the lumps and bumps on the page. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it underneath my paper. So I take my texture sheet, you can see it has those lumpy bumpy feels, and I'm going to put it underneath my paper on the top half. Now it's too short to go all the way across, so I'll have to do this part of my paper and then move it over here. We're going to choose any two colors that are next to each other. So maybe like red and orange for like a sunset, or you could have some orange and yellow. I think for mine, I'm going to try the yellow and tan. So I'm going to take the yellow and just rub it. And you can see as I rub on the side how that texture is showing up. And it makes for a really fun design for my sky. And since it's the sky, I'm only going down about a little over halfway. And then I can add some of this color on top to blend it. That's looking amazing. Okay, I need to move this over and do the other side. So I'm going to scoot that over here. And I'm going to do the same thing. Take the yellow, and we're using the side of the colored pencil stick. A crayon works well too for this. And we're using analogous colors, so these are colors that would be close to each other on a color wheel. All right. Now that I've got my textured sky, kind of looks like a sunshiny day, I'm going to get out the blue paint and I'm going to paint the water down below. I have a wider brush. This wider brush will make it easier to do a bigger space. I have a little bit of dark blue, light blue, kind of a turquoise light blue, and some white. I'm going to start with the regular darker blue, and I'm just going to make the top of the water. Now see how it's getting really light there? That means I need more paint on my paintbrush. There we go. Dip a little more paint in here. All right. So you can see that blue paint is getting put on here, and I'm just kind of going back and forth with my brush. Now, if I want to add in some other colors to mix in, I'm not even going to rinse my brush. I'm just going to dip right into this lighter blue, and in some of these spaces I have, I can add that lighter blue and just kind of blend it in. And it gives our water a little dimension. It makes it look like there's some deeper areas of the water and then some not as deep areas. So I'm just putting some of the lighter blue in with it. No, I'm not just swirling my brush and mixing it all up, because if I do that, then you will only have one color. So I'm not smashing my brush back and forth. I'm just adding in some of the light color on my emptier spots, and then I just blend it in a little bit, and so that way you can still see the lighter blue and the darker blue kind of combining. I should have put my messy mat down. You will have a messy mat so you can get the edges of your page and not worry about your table. Okay, and then I can also take some of the white and I can just put some little areas of white, and then I'm gonna just kind of mush it around just to put some of the parts of the water where it's splashing up and there's little dots of white. So I might put another little splash over here. And I just kind of put the white on, and then I move my brush back and forth underneath the white to kind of blend it in. I'm loving the way this is looking. I might put a little bit of white up here on the top of the water where it's splashing up at the surface, and maybe a little drop over here too. Okay, now I've got my textured sky, and I've got this beautiful ocean below. I'm going to put this on the drying rack and work on my boat. To start our boat, we're going to have a big rectangle, a thin rectangle of red. We have some chunks of painted paper that we painted in the past, some black paper and some white paper. To get started, we are going to cut out a very long U shape. So that means we're going to curve down and over, and then back up. And it looks like I just took a little U shape out of the top of our boat. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So I might even use my fingers to kind of measure. It's going to be about the same size, a little U shape. I'm going to go down, over, and back up. And now I have 2 U shapes cut out of the top of our boat. The next thing I'm going to do is open my glue stick, and I'm going to put some glue on our red rectangle, and we're going to attach that to the bottom of our boat. All right. The next thing we're going to need is our little smokestack. This is where the steam comes out of our steamship. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue down here on the bottom half, and then I'm just going to glue that right there. I want to go ahead and put a little piece of black at the top, so I need to make that a little smaller so it will fit. And I'm making a little black rectangle that will fit right at the top of our smokestack. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back and glue that right there. Our boat is really coming along. I'm going to take this piece of white paper, and you can just cut out 2 circle or oval shapes, but if you want to draw them first, you can. So I'm going to draw my 2 oval shapes. And now I'm going to cut out those oval shapes to be the windows. Do the same over here. All right, and there are the little windows for our boat. I will again take the glue stick, add the glue to the back of both windows and get those glued on. And now I have this awesome steamboat. And it's ready to be added to our ocean background. All right, to add the boat to the ocean, I'm going to turn our boat over, and I'm going to take our glue stick all the way around the edge. Now, if I just lightly touch it, it's not going to work. I'm going to go back and forth a couple times around all the edges of our boat, and I'm going to put a squiggle through the middle there. Now, I don't want my boat floating above the water. That wouldn't make sense. And I kind of want it to look like it's rocking around, so I might have it kind of moving just a little at an angle to show that it's really rocking around in the ocean. And I'm just going to use my fingers to push all of this down onto the page. All right. We are going to pull the blue palette back out with a smaller brush. And we are going to add some of that ocean water just kind of coming up onto the boat, these big waves where the boat is coming through the water. So I'm just kind of adding those on here. And then I'm going to take my white and show where the water is just bubbling up and crashing into the boat. So you can see those waves are coming up and crashing into our boat. And then I kind of bring it down and smooth it out so you can see it blends into the ocean here. And I might take a little bit of the darker blue just to kind of blend that in. And once you're satisfied with your waves crashing into your boat, we're going to put the brush down. And we're going to get our palette that has some white paint and a little bit of kind of a tan paint. I'm going to show the support beams of our boat by dipping into the tan paint with our piece of cardboard, and we're going to add one line. Whoop. Kind of pressing it down there on each side. And then I'll have one coming down this way and this way. And then I'll put one in between. And those will be the support beams of our boat. I'm going to take our brush, making sure I've got it nice and cleaned out, and I'm going to dip into the white, and I'm going to add some clouds to our sky. Now, if you made your sky a little more sunset colored, your clouds might show up brighter. Right now, mine aren't showing up super bright, so if you want them to show up a little brighter, you can always add just a dab of blue. And that will help them show up a little bit. So we're just going to add some clouds around here. All right, that's looking great. Our nice fluffy clouds, our boat out on the ocean. And now I'm going to take a little bit of the tan color and mix it with a little bit of the white to get the color for our steam coming out of the top of our steamship. So I'm just going to take that and have that color kind of rolling on out, the smoky steam coming out here. And that is what's going to help us finish off our picture. We have our boat crashing through the water, looking amazing. We've got our clouds in the sky and the steam rising up. And I can't wait to see the steamboats that you create.